This week, we continue our March of Dimes series with a movie about a marriage that collapses even faster than my own, which is quite the feat. Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Welcome back, you dirty babies. It's time for another Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Porters, and joining me today, he's coming, Sweet Sean Kovacs from the internet.
Thanks, LJ. I thought I put on a record and doing an original Cambodian fertility dance.
And he only climbed one flight of steps to get here, but it's as if he's climbed 5 or 6. Bruce Leslie.
Hey, guys, come over for a cocktail party. You bring the liquor.
Let me tell you, I love that old man. We'll talk about all these fun things. But ladies and gentlemen, the March of Dimes continues on this week. And we've got not one, but 2 Hollywood beauties at your ready. We got Robert Redford and Jane Fonda starring in Paul Simon's Barefoot in the Park from 1967. Bruce, this was your pick here. Drop a little teaser for us. How we come about this?
Well, I've liked Neil Simon for a long time, but I didn't know Neil Simon had written this when I first saw it. It was, for some reason, Ted Turner really liked it and showed it on WTBS a lot.
I'm a big fan.
He might have had a crush on Jane Fonda or something. But I've watched it with my mom. She loved this. This is one that I think more often the ladies like than the fellas, but I watched it many times with my mom. They'd show it at least once a year on TBS, and she never missed it. And it's one of those things that just kind of stuck out in my mind. It was one of the, it feels like the last of the old Hollywood movies, because only a year or two after this, we're starting to get things like Midnight Cowboy and The Graduate. But this is just like the last of that certain era in Hollywood that lasted for a really long time. And there's something about it so fresh.
You're right. This is kind of just before, Easy Rider hits and everything and takes off, hugely. And Paul Simon, while not necessarily
Neil Simon,
excuse me. I'm gonna screw that up a lot, folks. I'm just gonna tell you that one right now. But Paul Simon, he just goes through and what did I say? Did I do it wrong again?
Just did it again.
You did. You literally just did it again.
And I swear to God, in trying to get it correct, I'll just go in there. I'm just gonna say Simon from now on. He's now become a member of the Chipmunk.
Or just say the first name like this, Neal.
Neal. Hello, Neal. What Neal does is I forgot where the fuck I was going. I screwed up too many times. So we're just going to keep on reminding people that this here program is live and it's on YouTube, and I don't edit nothing. We don't screw it. Like when the screw ups happen in this show, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. It's going to happen because I don't go through and edit things for the most part. I do edit a little bit towards that's for the people over at patreon.com/HMP. We'll get to those folks in a second, but we are on live on YouTube right now. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're one of those awesome people that has access to the hype button, swipe that bad boy to the right, hit that hype button, because that's how this show gets out to other people. And we really appreciate all of you coming back week after week, month after month, year after year at this portion. Boys, we are almost up into 100 episodes of Volume 2 of HMP.
Crazy. It feels like we just started.
It does.
Me anyway.
Like been here for just a moment, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, we're rounding 100 episodes with this already, and to match with the 650 plus that we did from previous. So there's a lot of material to go back through in case you want to. And the best way to do that and have access to all that stuff is going over to patreon.com/HMP there, joining up at any particular level. Whatever you find value in this show, throw that in a dollar form our way and get some back in return. If you go all the way back to our COVID years and stuff like that, we've reviewed everything from all the Matrix franchises to the Fast and the Furious to all the Mission Impossible stuff. All that stuff is right there and available for all the Patreon supporters and stuff like that. So you can go listen to those harsh times when we were like, we were happy to be watching something, but sometimes after a while, you never quite know. But all that kind of fun stuff is over there on patreon.com/HMP. And we really appreciate all of those people for joining up over there. We really, again, hold on. I want to show the people. Let me show you the people. These are all the Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/HMP. And I want to give a giant shout out this week to my good buddy, Josh, and all the fellas over at the AA Spook Show, of All American Spook Show podcast. These guys have been my friends I've known Josh for 26 years now. So it is, we worked together at several different places. I worked with Smoke. I've worked with Will. So like I've literally known these guys for decades at this point. They're good people and put on a fine podcast over there at the AA Spook Show. Check them out on YouTube and wherever you find finer podcasts. Those buddies of mine. I like those fellas.
Yeah, I like Josh too. Josh was a guest on one of my anime videos, and I did an episode of Spook Show, so I like the guy.
Yeah,
it's a great name for a show too. The Great American Spook Show. That's a really good name for a show.
Good stuff. So go check on all of that good stuff. And let's get into it, fellas. Here is the IMDb plot line for Barefoot in the Park. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. Conservative young lawyer Paul Bratter marries the vivacious Corey Banks. Their highly passionate relationship descends into discord when they rent their first apartment, a rundown 5-flight New York City walk-up with eccentric neighbors. This is written by Paul Simon based on his play. You know Paul Simon from The Odd Couple, Murder by Death, The Goodbye Girl, The Sunshine Boys, etc., etc. This is directed by Gene Sachs, who consequently did The Odd Couple, Cactus Flower, Brighton Beach Murders, Fine Romance, and Bye Bye Birdie. This is starring Robert Redford, Jane Fonda, Charles Boyer, Mildred Natwick, and Doris Roberts, the mom from Everyone Loves Raymond. She cameos as the hotel maid.
Oh, I didn't even recognize her.
You wouldn't, because it was so damn long ago in comparison to now we know that woman, so it makes sense a lot there. So Bruce, like you said, this was kind of your go-to growing up for mom, right?
And also to make it a little awkward, I think when I first watched it, puberty was just hitting in, and it was probably the horniest movie I'd ever seen in my life at that point. So it makes for a weird set of memories. I'll just leave it at that.
It brings me to the first note that I took here, which is that, Jane Fonda in this movie, she still clearly moves like a professionally trained dancer in this movie. And it immediately made me think about Anne Margaret, because they're kind of similar in like the type of girl that they both are. Anne Margaret, famously a redhead, that's about the only, that's the biggest difference. But did Jane Fonda course correct Anne Margaret's career? Does that make sense to you guys? Because Anne Margaret is becoming this big movie star, and then 5 years later she's on television, which was such a step down. And I'm wondering
back then.
And so I'm wondering if maybe Jane Fonda kind of took Anne Margaret's career, because we can only have one type that's like this, and so it was Jane Fonda.
Because I could totally see this character in Bye Bye Birdie. Yeah, so I see what you're saying now. It took me a minute to catch on where you were going, but I think I agree with you there, and I wouldn't have thought of that on my own. But there were only so many Julia Roberts types back then, and they could only have one up at the front of the room. Right, it's not quite like today. And this movie, obviously based on a play. And in the most recent revival, Amanda Peet played Jane Fonda's character.
Oh, that's good. That's good casting.
Yeah. Patrick Wilson was Robert Redford. So I'll let you make of that what you want.
Patrick Wilson, sneaky, like one of the most handsome men in Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You are going up against Robert Redford, so
that is impossible. That's impossible. That's impossible.
He'll always be Dumpy Dan Dryberg in my mind, being a Watchmen fan. So hard to get past that.
So I want to kind of start off talking a little bit about kind of what I thought was interesting about this movie, kind of right off the bat, that you would normally see a movie like this where they would go, here's the couple, they've been dating for this while, they've just gotten married, blah blah blah. You get some sort of a backstory to this. We get none. We get no kind of in-depth backstory. It's just like you almost have to wait for the story to unfold to get all of the information that's coming out, that he's an upcoming lawyer and stuff like that. You're not even told that, that's 20 minutes into the movie, all of a sudden you realize that he's a lawyer. But so they kind of just let things fall out and you to figure out exactly who they are and what their relationship is and everything. And even right off the bat, as we're going into the honeymoon here and we're having 6 days of romping in the plaza there uninterrupted, first of all, you got to get out a little bit. As fun as it all is, I think you do need to, exit the building.
I guess they're living on tap water because You gotta have something to eat and drink.
They didn't even open up the door. The papers just kept on piling up. It's like, I understand that we're going the passage of time here, but
I love the idea of taking a honeymoon in the city in which you live. I don't
yeah,
know
we're just going to the hotel to bang for a while. Hope you see you later.
But you live in Manhattan. You're not going to go to Indianapolis, so their options are limited.
Wee bit of a downgrade there. But yeah, I like, because I didn't know anything. Like, I literally knew the 2 stars, the name of the thing, who wrote it, and that was it. And so it came in really kind of blank. But this was also one of the ones that, like, between this, the second story, there's a couple of, like, Paul Simon things I don't really know. Very kind of, it's one of those things. Did I fucking do it again? All right, we're gonna call him Kurt. I'm gonna write this down so I don't forget it.
I will tell you. I will tell you. I'll tell you, LJ. Like that's gonna catch on. It will catch on. I have a very similar experience with this movie, which is that if you were to ask me 3 days ago, hey, Sean, have you seen Barefoot in the Park? I would have gone, yeah, of course I have, because I thought I had until I started watching this movie the other day, and I was like, oh. I was about 15 minutes in and was like, oh, I have never seen this movie before. Like, I figured it out.
And now something makes sense to me, because when I first mentioned it, you kind of had like a look of trepidation on your face, like you weren't really excited about it, which kind of surprised me. But I feel better now that you were thinking it was something else.
Yeah, it was Panic in Needle Park. That's a very different movie.
It is. It's more of a drama. I know that there's the title card at the beginning of the movie that says written by Neal Simon, but if we could have gone about 10 minutes into this movie and I would have known that anyway, like his writing is so specific and particular to him that when she starts, when they start doing their back and forth with each other, I was like, oh man, there's the Neal Simon I know, like that, it's all chippy and like bam, 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 bam. Like it's just really well written. Certainly for the time specifically too. Like, how many people have stolen from Neal Simon just that real rat-a-tat back and forth that they have. And the other thing I thought about was after having seen this movie. So basically, Dharma and Greg just ripped this movie off for 6 seasons. Like, that's literally what this movie is. I was like,
an amazing observation. They also in the 70s made a version of this as a TV show with African-American couple living in New York.
Oh, really? It's called Barefoot in the Park, the TV series?
I think so, but I've never watched it.
I don't know what it's called, but like when I was searching for images and stuff, something like that came up, and I knew obviously, since the man be doing plays and stuff, that there's been probably a lot of different people. I'm like, oh, there you go.
Neal Simon even ripped himself off. I don't know which came first, but if you make both people a man, it's The Odd Couple.
Yeah,
I think he wrote The Odd Couple after this one, so he's it's the same old. Let's talk about, because the apartment and everything itself is almost a character in and of itself within this movie. The idea that we've got a 5-flight walk up here, which is huge. And by the way, I know that today we are not the healthiest of societies, but I believe in 1968 they were a lot healthier than we were today, and yet everybody is getting to the top of this thing and they are winded. I know it's part of the gag, I get it, but it's just like, holy moly, guys, everyone is so tired walking up this. Y'all got to work on that cardio. It's like that's how I felt when I was like drinking on the cruise ship and had to, not be able to take elevators because they were just all jammed up and everything. I'll go on the steps. That's how I felt when I was drunk outside. But these people are stone cold sober, walking up steps, going, "Oh my God!" It's a bit much.
I think that's a misconception that people were healthier. 50 years ago,
a lot more.
Everybody smoked. Everybody's eating red meat. Everyone's like no one's thinking about cardio at all.
There was
at this point.
There was no such thing as like physical fitness. Like if you had a reason to be fit, you were, but nobody had gym memberships. Nobody did anything like that.
And it's like that scene herself didn't put her workout tapes out yet. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's like that scene from Anchorman where he's like, I've started taking up this thing called yogging, I think it's called. Jogging, maybe yogging. I'm not sure. It's Swedish. Like that's literally what it was like, you know?
I thought it was kind of cool to see what an actual Manhattan apartment looks like, you know, because
but that's not an actual apartment.
But it's nice to see what it looks like, because it's not like Friends, it's not like Seinfeld, where you just couldn't afford this place. And I think some of that verisimilitude comes from the fact that Neil Simon's from Brighton Beach, so he kind of knows the scene. And also, no major characters in the movie are from New York, which is another thing that's pretty typical from what I understand about Manhattan. People from New Jersey, people from Philadelphia, who knows where Mr. Velasco's from, but no actual native New Yorkers in the movie.
I've never really thought about that, but that does make a whole lot of sense there. You can tell, like, I wonder, at least I'll put it to you that way. I would feel like it's probably close to the same, but like, I wonder what this set was like versus the play set and everything, because this seems very play-esque, doesn't it?
I'm gonna guess it's very close. You know what the sets on this show remind me of, and I don't know if you're gonna get this reference, Portress, but Bruce, I'm sure you did. You will. This movie, the way it's filmed and the way that the sets look, it reminds me of The Monkees, the TV show The Monkees. Like, it has that same exact quality to it. Like, whether you're in the hotel hallway or you're at the restaurant or you're in the apartment itself, the attic apartment, all of that feels like The Monkees to me, because it maybe it's just the film they shot it on, plus the way that they used to build sets. You know how there's that step up in the apartment that's like, so it elevates the kitchen from the rest of the house, you know? That is such a play set, like, right, you know, like Broadway play style sets.
In our local theater, we call that going upstairs.
Yeah.
Because there's one stair.
Like we're going over here. We got this whole set up here, and then you come down into this, little area here and everything. And so it really kind of focuses your eyes, which again is what you want to kind of do in plays, is kind of like, here's a little scene over here, here's a little scene over there. So your eyes focus over to a particular part, and it's kind of like you're the camera there at that point. You're just looking at this area, and then you forget about the rest of the house, and eventually you'll wander back over there and then, get to see on that side.
A practical reason, most stages now are flat, unlike what they used to be. So you put that there so the people upstage can be seen over the people downstage. Because they used to call it upstage because it was like a slant. So the upstage was higher, so you could see the people in the background.
Not enough rakage today, I say.
Yeah. Then somebody made, what was that play with the roller skates? It just went all to hell, so they had to flatten out the stage. The Fantastics.
Gentlemen. Come on,
Fortress Bucks.
There we go. Oh, MBD dropping the $5, saying one of the neighbors is Billy Bird from Police Academy 4, the old lady who gets knocked on her butt by firing Tackleberry's gun. Damn, that was fun.
This is some deep cuts. I'm going to say MVD is the deep cut king, man. He knows all this kind of stuff.
Agreed.
What did you guys think about the mother-in-law? Because I found her to be really charming, because as soon as she shows up, you think they're going to go into like the cliche, snooty, difficult mother-in-law, but she's absolutely a sweetheart in this, and she's not difficult at all. And the actor who played the mother-in-law won an Academy Award for this performance. The only Oscar winner out of the whole thing was her.
She's great. She's really great. I was like, I was kind of that same sort of like, oh no, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this character that's going to come in and feels like, because that's how Fonda's character kind of, represents her. She's like, oh no, she's going to be nuts. She's going to get in and kind of rake me over the coals here and everything. But mom comes in. She's pretty understanding about everything that's going on. But she has probably the best line in the entire movie, where Fonda's character goes, "Everything is just temporary, mother. What is it they say in Harper's Bazaar? It won't take until a bride's own personality becomes clearly defined." And mom goes, "Oh, I don't know. I think it's you right now." Which is like, oh my God, what a like stone cold bastard thing to kind of say in a lovely little way. It's just like, yes, your house is empty, it's scattered, and just like you are, because she's an empty, scattered person who doesn't plan things very well, and just goes like, oh, she's flying by the seat of her pants, and mom knows she flies by the seat of her pants.
You get the idea. This is the first time she's lived away from home, and she probably had a little bit of privilege back home. Because the mom's wearing a mink coat and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I love Aunt Harriet because my family had an Aunt Harriet. She was my great grandmother's sister, and she lived to be like 100 years old. So everybody knew Aunt Harriet. And every time they would mention Aunt Harriet, I'd have flashbacks to my great great aunt, who was a retired school teacher and a sweet soul.
So, there's only 2 actors from the stage production of the original Broadway stage production of Barefoot in the Park that are in the movie. One being Robert Redford himself. Robert Redford was played the role in the original Broadway production, and the other one being Mildred Natwick, who plays Jane Fonda's mom.
Well, she's great.
Yeah.
She originated the role. No wonder she knew how to play it so well.
Right. And this is the one that blew me away, which is that the original Broadway production was directed by Mike Nichols. Like, why is the director of the stage play a way better director than movie director than the movie director of Barefoot? Like, it's crazy to me.
You're throwing shade at Sachs?
I like him just fine. He's a fine director. He ain't no Mike Nichols, man.
Yeah,
I can't argue even if I try.
Again, it was one of those cool things, just like not knowing where this was, and then you find out like, oh, he's a lawyer, but like you don't really know that he's just a starting lawyer. Like this is his first case. You finally find that out, and like we start to go, oh, so they got this apartment. They go to the apartment, and you're like, oh, so the apartment's crap, and that's kind of fun. Because it threw everything that I was thinking on its head, because I was just like, oh, they're going to be rich, but no, they're not. It's quite the exact opposite, which I was thrilled about. I was just like, please don't just be like, oh, look at us and all of our money and our problems. They got problems, but they don't got no money. So that was, at least it made me feel good.
And it's my turn to reference a previous marriage. You already threw yours out there, Adam. But there's a certain type of girl, woman, lady, call them what you want, who really wants to marry a successful person. Like it's a badge of honor if they married a doctor or a lawyer. And I think that's gone now, because neither doctors or lawyers are held in the same esteem they once were. They want a successful man, and then they have nothing but resentment about the work it takes to be successful. And I picked up some of that here. She didn't want him to go to work at all.
Oh my gosh, this woman, I just be like, what, how do you think you're going to get anything in life? You're like, you guys don't have money, and you're just like, well, let's just stay here and just get it on in the room. And that while it sounds like fun, we've got to earn a living here. We need food.
And I mean, they said he's 26, so he's fresh out of law school. This is his first job, and you don't want to, pun intended, screw it up.
It's one of the great things though, because like, a perfect situation to kind of put him in and everything, where it's you're just starting out, and you're just starting out on your brand new life there and everything as well with your marriage. And of course, as is, life has a tendency to do, it's going to hit you every single possible, chance that it can here. Well, okay, you have a big giant day tomorrow. Well, you don't have a bed to sleep on tonight. Just stuff like that kind of keeps getting compounded on and on him and there and everything. But when you watch this movie, did anyone else just like feel I didn't know. I didn't know anything from the plot of it or anything, but I'm just watching going like, this isn't going to go well. I just feel it right now. I feel it right now. This is not gonna, she is not listening to him. He's not I'm not saying he's perfect. He's got some, some issues of his own, but like, she's a nut bar, man. Like I would be driven nuts by her in 20 minutes. She's beautiful, but my word, it's just too much. She's all over the place.
She's like ADHD before the term was around.
Yeah. She is great, though. Honestly, she brings a great energy to this, and I think Jane Fonda is kind of perfect for this role. I think that she kind of embodies this character really, really well. And I think also then coming from a family of a little bit of means and stuff there, that, she's probably got a little bit of that in her back pocket, just, kind of waiting around to be like, yeah, hey, listen, I know a little bit of that.
Well, there's 2 scenes in particular with her that just really that kind of blew me away with how good she is in it. One is the restaurant scene when they go to the restaurant and she's dancing with the musician and the belly dancer, and she's just so game, and she looks so great, and she looks like she's legitimately having a great time in that moment, that I was like, oh, I don't know how many people could pull that off. I think a lot of actresses, especially at the time, would have made it look like they're acting like they're having fun, where it literally looks like Jane Fonda's having the best time ever at this restaurant. It's great.
And this was made in an era where like you were a movie actor or a TV actor, you weren't both. But I think Mary Tyler Moore could actually pull it off.
You're right. She totally could. Absolutely. Yes. That's a good pull. The other scene is when she, at the end, when she's talking to him through the skylight. And like she is great in that scene. Like truly, truly great. I kind of was surprised. I haven't watched Jane Fonda act in forever. And I forget that, she can pull a speed on you where you're like, oh, I didn't know that she could do that. Like that kind of thing, you know? Like it does happen more often than not with her, where it's like, oh, right. She acted opposite her dad in On Golden Pond and was really good in it. I forget. And then she's in 9 to 5 and she's great. You know, like it just happens again and again with her where it's like, oh, she's really kind of great.
And she's really good consistently, but she has these little pops.
Yes.
That are really, really good. She's pretty good across the board, but there are moments where like she just shines and you're just like, oh, that's what people were looking at. That's what people were vibing on. I get it.
And it doesn't hurt that she has absolutely no shyness about her physical form. I mean, she's great.
I wouldn't either if I looked like Jane Fonda in 1964 or whenever they shot this thing. She is drop dead gorgeous in this movie. My God.
I'd wear nothing but like the Tobias Funke cutoff shorts. I'd want to show those legs off.
No kidding.
It's wintertime, Bruce. It's all part of the plot.
It's only 30 degrees. I can show off my gams.
So can I talk about Redford, or do you guys have more to say about Jane Fonda? Mm-hmm. So I completely underestimated Lindsay's level of Robert Redford lust, because when I told her we were watching Barefoot in the Park for the March of Dimes, because Bruce thinks it's peak Robert Redford, she's like, no, like immediately she's like, no, his peak is the Electric Horseman. And I'd never even heard of that movie. I have no idea what that movie was. I was like,
I've seen it, but a long time ago.
And she's like, no, that's when he literally looked his best. Him and Electric Horseman is peak Robert Redford. And then she drops this bomb on me. And also his co-star in that movie is Jane Fonda. I was like, what?
No, there you go.
How have I never heard of a movie that also boasts the talents of both of them later? How do I not know that? And she's like, I don't know. It's not very good.
It's about a guy who literally has neon lights on his cowboy jacket and he rides a horse.
But she ain't wrong. She sent me a picture. She's like, look, this is what he looked like. And I'm like,
I'm a Jeremiah Jackson guy.
Johnson.
That's a very good looking man.
Whatever.
I'm really going out on a limb here. Robert Redford, good looking.
And when I see him in this movie, I totally get. When Legends of the Fall came out, that's the first time I really knew who Brad Pitt was. And everybody said, man, this guy looks like Robert Redford. And I didn't quite get it at the time, but now here, you know, he's got that Brad Pitt look about him.
I had a very similar thought, just in a different way, which is watching Redford in this. It made me understand why producers were so hesitant about making him Sundance. Because the producers of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were like, he's not right for that part. Because if all you see is Robert Redford in this movie, and he was in one other thing, it's like he's not right. Like there is no one more effortlessly cool than Robert Redford as the Sundance Kid. Like that, hands down, coolest human being to ever walk the earth is him as Sundance Kid. Hold on, let me finish. But so whenever I heard the stories of the producers saying stuff like, "Oh no, we don't want him," I would always be like, even if he barely is an actor at this point, why wouldn't you want the most handsome man in the world in your movie? Like, I don't get it. But after watching this, I totally understand it now, because he's so good as the straight-laced, waspy, like by the rules kind of guy, that it didn't make a lot of sense for those guys. Let's get that guy to be the coolest human being to ever live.
And what a 1-2 punch of cool too, because Paul Newman, he was literally Cool Hand Luke. He defined cool for a generation. So getting both those guys together was quite the accomplishment.
Right, but like it was kind of a risk. Like that's what I'm trying to point out here, is that like there is no risk in making Paul Newman Butch Cassidy. There's no risk. Like that makes perfect sense. This guy is that guy, and that's perfect. But Redford is the question mark, and I totally understand it now watching this movie, where it's like that guy is going to be the coolest human being on earth in a couple of years, and he is.
I went for, people couldn't see him as a cowboy at all. Then after that movie, they gave him the electric horseman so he could keep being a cowboy.
Right.
Just put on an electric jacket and stuff, because like you do. Let's talk about the neighbors here, man. So we got our main neighbor here and everything, who then turns out we're going to pawn him off onto mom and try to put up a love connection here and everything. And it works.
He closes the deal, man. She comes out wearing a kimono one morning, and you know what happens. You don't wear a kimono just for the heck of it. But I love Mr. Velasco. Boyer, I think the actor's name is something Boyer. But as a kid, I just thought, I'm going to grow up to be like Paul, I almost called him Paul Newman. I'm going to grow up to be like Paul Bratter. But no, I grew up to be like Mr. Velasco in a lot of ways. I got a kimono right over there, if you don't believe me.
It's like, I got a kimono.
I believe you.
On the floor. he's doing an accent that may or may not be appropriate. He's just what he does. You just let him go.
He's French, which makes that Cuban accent that he does kind of impressive to me. English isn't even his first language.
He's really good. You buy him as that kind of eccentric neighbor there and everything that you could come across. And like, again, is this great writing of forcing this character into their lives and through their lives, because I have to get to my apartment through your bedroom out window and everything. It's so much fun and interesting way to kind of force characters into a narrative.
And he has some of the best timing in the line delivery, I think, in this whole movie, which is all great actors. But, when he says things like, she says, we're going to have you over for dinner. He says, good, I'll bring the wine. You can pay me when I get there. He says those kind of things.
Well, he's so over the top. It's a fastball for you. Like that actor is like so like ham sandwich in his face acting. And I was like, oh, Bruce loves this guy.
I've got a type.
Yeah, you do.
There used to be an award named after me for that kind of acting.
There's so many neat little interesting things in there, because when we come back and the apartment is finally furnished and decorated here and everything, one of the main questions there that that gets asked is like, oh, you did all this, you came up with all this, and she kind of half claims that she does. And it's like, nope, Mr. Velasquez kind of does all of that stuff. He does all. And when you look at it and then you finally see his apartment, you can see where all of his influence is within this stuff. So it's like, again, it's one of those, she's not even quite thinking for herself, but I'm sure in her mind, she designed and put all this stuff together. It's like, he did all the work for you. That's at least what I kind of gathered from it.
And he just has like the great life of a 50-something bachelor, where he's like, I can do what I want. I can be eccentric, and it's just an appeal instead of a weirdness.
A Kramer-esque character, if there ever was one.
Oh yeah,
man. There's a lot of 90s sitcoms in this, because I always felt like Frasier was trying to channel Neil Simon. I mean, it's written like a stage play almost.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, the apartment's kind of the same way. We got the rake towards the back where the piano and the trellis and all that kind of like, so it's, it's all there. It's a giant play for sure.
It feels so old, the movie, where, like the sets look like sets. Them driving in the car looks like the fakest thing you've ever seen, but it works. It works for this movie, like it's something that, it feels so antiquated and nice. Like, oh, right, this is the way they used to make movies, to the point where, like, the olds in your life are like, I don't know why movies cost so much money now. Really, you don't? Have you seen Barefoot in the
what
Park?
they used to look like?
Yeah.
And we've definitely thrown superlatives at Jane Fonda and Robert Redford individually, but I think there's something to be said for this really great chemistry between the two of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody's pulling this by themselves. If those two don't work well together, it's going nowhere. So I was pretty impressed with that too.
I would have been more impressed if they were just like, they friggin' hated each other. They wanted to kill each other every day of the week. Yeah, they pulled off that passionate. No, they couldn't. They couldn't be like it's a pretty tough road to hoe being that kind of like, facey with somebody and really hating their guts.
It's like when you hear backstage at Dirty Dancing that Swayze and Jennifer Grey hated each other. When you watch that movie, you can totally see it where you're like, oh yeah, they did not get along at all, those two. And it just feels the exact opposite with these two.
And I think he was like 18 years older than her or something too.
Yeah.
So that kind of messes with the chemistry.
He's like, I'd like to throw baby down the stairs. I'll tell you that right now.
This is also a remnant of the old style of movie making. This had all the credits up front. You just didn't see that much after this, I don't think.
I always kind of like that, where you get all your credits there at the front, and then when the end kind of comes, it's just like boom, black, and then you get their rated R, and then house lights come up, and you're like, "Whoa, shit, we're done."
Of course, credits were much more concise back then. I couldn't imagine going through the lengthy credits we have nowadays before the movie.
You got to watch Iron Man 3's credit before the movie goes on. It's just like 10 minutes worth of just a wall of white names going up, and you're like, "What the hell?"
Well, the reason being is because they knew that people would be coming into the theater late, so just put the credits up front, and then you get to your seat, blah blah blah.
And trailers used to actually trail the movie because they just played it on a loop.
Yeah,
but the most recent movie I've seen where they showed the credits up front made me feel really uncomfortable, and I don't know if it was the credits or something else, but it was Irreversible.
I knew that's where you were going. I knew right away, and it was just like, boom. Let's see what I love the kind of setting up of the skylight thing for the big payoff gag later with the snow and whatnot. I thought that was, and that was another one that made me just go like, I would love to actually see that, in play form. Because I think that's a really cool, neat idea for a play that like you could probably establish this, skylight here with the hole in it, but never really, because obviously they're, a Broadway audience,
no camera
or anything. But eventually to have him, get all flustered, go to sleep there on the couch, and then it starts snowing on him. I bet that was a really rad moment the first time for people
Hell yes, it was.
Oh wow!
And they would have
never seen anything like it.
And I'm not sure how they would have incorporated it, but they would have had a set piece that looked like the skylight because you have the big scene of him out on the ledge.
Yeah.
So maybe they found a way to incorporate that when they're trying to turn on the radiator. They bring that in and maybe stick your hand through the hole to show that it exists, but they would have had a set piece.
Well, I mean, that skylight in a play is probably going to be 90 degrees is my guess, not the 45 that you're seeing in this. Yeah. And that's probably how they do that.
Yeah, you're probably right on
that. I like the we're skipping back a little bit. The kind of servicemen that come in here, the telephone repairman number one. He's our first guy that comes up again, wildly breathed. It just can't.
But the next guy, the delivery man who's having a full-on asthma attack.
Delivery old man is one of my favorite characters because he doesn't say anything. He just hyperventilates the entire time, tries to get him to sign the paper. For
Another great line when she says, "Why would they make an old man do deliveries?" And he said, "He's only 26. This route does it to you."
Really aged out there.
Good line.
So much fun. And again, this has another like when we get to the kind of our date scene here and everything with mom, it's almost an after hours kind of vibe to everything because we're going to different places, we're meeting weird ass people, stuff's going on. You're not quite sure where the evening is even being close to taking us at this point. And props to mom and Redford there for going out and just really vibing with this as much as they actually do, because they're clearly people that don't necessarily want to do any of this stuff.
Right? Yeah,
but they're being very good sports and being like, listen, this is what she wants to do. God bless her. We really like her, so we're gonna do our best here. We're gonna put on our level-headed best with this, and to varying degrees of success, I would say.
They make this seem like this Velasco guy is the coolest guy in the world to hang out with, but he's also exhausting. They really showed that.
That's the way. That's the way a lot of like fire starter cool people are. Where it's like, oh man, I am not ready. The person in my life that's like that, his name is Russ, coincidentally, and he whenever he would call you and be like, hey, you want to hang out tonight? You'd have to really think about like, do I want to hang out with Russ? Because like a lot's gonna happen. Like how ready am I for Russ?
This entails something.
My big takeaway was that Jane Fonda should have married Velasco, and Robert Redford should have married Mom. It's like that.
Hey, listen, they'd probably all be a little happier. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Mom would be a lot happier, I got to say.
How much do you, oh yeah, certainly. How much do you think, if at all, and I don't know from nothing, this feels like a guess. How much of Jane Fonda's stuff was kind of some bullshit she put in? Like with the, all the references to some other culture stuff, because she was still kind of like, that was her bag. That was a lot of ladies' bag back in the day, was all the kind of like, hey, here's this, Cambodian, chant message, fertility or whatever
dance.
Your fertility dances and shit dance. Like that. All that kind of, artsy fartsy, just like, especially in the 60s where it was just like, they haven't heard of anything. They haven't heard of anything when they just were like, what is this, sushi? Oh God.
That just feels so Neil Simon to me. Like you could totally be right here, LJ, but like I don't really understand why there is, what, let me go backwards. It's not that I don't understand it. I know exactly why. But like the other culture, like other cultures were just seen as like, this is batshit crazy. Like we're eating with our fingers right now, like savages. Like it's so different. The times are so different. Like if I went to a restaurant like that, I wouldn't be like super happy about it, but I also wouldn't be like, this is a nightmare. Like I wouldn't be like that either.
I think the black salad might throw me off, but the rest I'd be adventurous with.
This just smells like turmeric in here. It's weird.
The whole other mentality of the 60s. Like, let's play this for laughs,
And it's also before the internet, so people didn't know enough to call you out on your BS. So you could get away with saying pretty much anything about a country they hadn't been to.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, oh, you heard about this? And oh, really? Yeah.
Those were the days, boy. You could lie your ass off and no one would know.
Back when I rode elephants through the jungle in Madagascar, you wouldn't believe it.
Sorry, I got a Charlie horse here. All of a sudden, I don't know what happened.
Oh no, buddy!
You better eat a banana. Eat a banana, drink some grapefruit juice. I don't know. But this really is a movie that's of its time, but I think it holds up pretty good. I think if you're over the age of 30, you're going to enjoy it. If you've ever had one of those early romantic relationships where they just start out on fire and burn out immediately, you kind of see that in here. It communicates to the human condition in a way that it survives the decades. I mean, what is it, 60 years old almost?
Yeah,
that's about right. I'm not good at math.
Any other comments, or should we start bringing this on home, Adam?
I would say, just on a couple more things. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. It's, I don't know. I lost it. I'm sorry.
The only other thing I would say about this is that, speaking with Lindsay about this movie, and she dearly loves this movie. And whenever you talk to just women and period about this movie, they're like, oh, I really like that movie. Like way more, like most guys haven't even heard of this movie, let alone seen it. But girls, and I totally get why. Watching the movie, I totally understand why women like this movie. It's because she's the free spirit, not him. She's not an idiot. She's just got a different way of looking at life. Like the stuff that like before everything becomes when Harry met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle, like this is kind of what there was, is just this movie, right? For a while. And so like, you know, she makes her own choices. Like she does, you know, she's the one doing these things. And also she ain't perfect. Like we were saying earlier, all of these things add to like, oh, women watching this and being like, boy, I am a lot like this character played by Jane Fonda, you know, no matter what you look like. And nobody looks like Jane Fonda this era, and nor does a man look like Robert Redford in this era. But like, you could totally see yourself in those roles. You totally could. Oh yeah, definitely.
I saw my first marriage in this, except for the part where they made up. Once divorce was suggested, all you saw was like a cloud of dust shaped like my body as I ran away.
One of the gags that I liked in this a lot was when the disheveled kind of drunk lady opens the door and she goes, "What's he drunk again?" Looking at the officer, and then this other gentleman just goes, takes the police officer in. I love that. I thought that was the good little bit. Mother leaving after her first visit, saying Geronimo, I thought was hilarious. I was like, damn, mom's getting in some jabs here that were like really hardcore deep ones that I was just like, oh, sneaky mean mom.
That is one of the questions I had, is that they kept referring to the neighbor upstairs as a Bluebeard, which is a term I guess is lost to time because I'd never heard it before. Is a Bluebeard somebody who goes after young girls?
Only Neil Simon knows the answer to that.
I thought Bluebeard was kind of like the pirate thing. He was going around and raping and pillaging and stuff like that.
I see.
Going to just, you know, Bluebeard's going to rape your gal if you ain't careful.
I see. This is back when you could make those kind of jokes, and
exactly.
Everybody just laughed and laughed and laughed.
The town rapist, you want to, you know.
And I thought the tuna fish person was a nice touch. It's just one eyeball every time you knock over their empty cans of tuna. Had a little Always Sunny in Philadelphia vibe going on with that one.
I just want to see what you're doing. What are you doing? And the other one was when mom says, if the hardware store had been open, I would have bought a knife and killed myself. I thought that was a great line.
Great line.
Now she was saying that about climbing the stairs to their house. That's the best part about it. It's like, I would have killed myself having not had to come here.
And talking about jokes you could make then that you can't make now, when he comes back talking about the weird, crazy people that live in their apartment, he says, and this couple are both men and nobody knows who the wife is.
That was kind of like, again, for like 68, you're like, whoa, what an out there little bit for that. That's kind of,
I mean, it's in Greenwich Village, so I think they're just trying to play the bohemian aspect of Greenwich Village, but it doesn't hold up so well.
No.
Speaking of not holding up well, I think there may be 2, maybe 3 genuine New York shots in this, and everything else is a stage or some like rear projection. Like there's a part where he's sitting at the park on a bench and everything. He ain't at that damn park.
No.
He is sitting on a half set with a projection in the background, and it looks like shit. But it's a fun like shit. You know what I mean?
It works for this thing, man. It just reminds me so much of. I don't know why I liked it so much. I wasn't like a huge fan of the music or anything, but it really reminds me of the Monkees so much because they did the same trickeration on their show.
Yeah, I liked the Monkees at 12 years old. I mean,
right. When I was a child, the monkey like that, and the show was just so funny.
But this is back when they made movies in Hollywood, though. I think that's why you get some.
Yes.
MVD coming in with the facts, everybody. Bluebeard is about a man who kills his wives and hides their bodies.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
It's inspired by the Night and Killer Giles de Ross.
Oh,
like I pronounced that dead ass on, everybody. I feel like
you are French Canadian, my friend.
It's yeah, I did fail the first 6 weeks of French in high school, and they were just like, let's go to Spanish. Maybe that's a little simpler. I passed that with a C. So that all counts.
I'm Dutch West Virginia. It's a lot like French.
And ask me how much of that worked when I had a Spanish speaking crew. Shit, boy. And they're like Duolingo. All I'm learning is Apple. What's Montana going to help me with my work situation? Give me a little more Duolingo. What the hell?
I had kind of the reverse experience. I took a semester of Spanish and was not very good at it, so I switched to French, which is absolutely just as practical as Spanish in my work life.
Oui, abo. I don't know.
I have like one French patient over 26 years. That's it.
And even then, you just said bonjour. That's about it, right?
Yeah. I said grazie. Grazie.
Send him on his way. Well, let's get on our way here, boys. Bruce, what is your grade and recommendation for Barefoot in the Park from 1960? I believe it's 7.
It has to be an even number because we get a double dose of dimes. So I'm going to give this a solid 40 cents, man, because it's a good one. The plot is almost non-existent. It's just having fun with these characters. So I take 20 cents off for that, or 10 cents off for that rather. But yeah, I'm going to give this 40 cents for a double dose of dimes.
All right, Sean, what you got?
For me, this is a 3-star. Just because, once you know how the comedy sausage is made, you can kind of see everything coming from 15 minutes away, which is fine. And it's that kind of movie. So for me, it's a 3-star. It's something that if you are a lady, you are probably really going to like this, especially if you are a big Dharma and Greg fan. 3 stars.
Now, let's say you're a lady that doesn't want to have any kind of job outside of the house and really wants your man to be the only person that's doing anything, and you sit at home and do nothing. This might be the best favorite movie.
It might suffer from being so influential, though, because in 1963, when the stage play was written, it may not have felt as already done to death as it does now, however many years later.
Well, sure.
For me, I'm going 3 as well on this one. I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. I don't want to hang out. Well, save for like the neighbor. He's cool. I kind of like him, Mr. Velasquez. I like hanging out with him. But everybody else, I don't want to hang out with these people. She's a nutball. She's a pretty lady, but she's crazy. Like he's okay. He's got a couple little weird things about him and stuff like he could be a little looser for 1968, But that's about it. I don't want to hang out with these people anymore. But a good movie, and I'm glad that I saw it and knocked another one off of the kind of Neal Simon.
Hey,
I would absolutely hang out with the tuna fish guy if I had the chance. I'm just curious.
I thought that was a lady.
What goes on in that apartment? Who knows, man? I would find out for you.
As far as we know. That's so 3 and a 4 for everybody. That's not too shabby, all told there, especially for 2 good-looking people like this, man. And Bruce mentioned it earlier in this show, and he ain't wrong. Robert Redford got himself a little bit of Brad Pitt going on, or is it Brad Pitt's got a little bit of Robert Redford because it's kind of
Brad Pitt got Robert Redford. I know.
And crazy enough, Robert Redford, I think, produced Legends of the Fall that introduced most of the world to Brad Pitt.
Oh, there you go. So we will be talking a Brad Pitt movie next week, and in a movie that most people, Sean, what's the kind of claim to fame with this one again? You're best at saying this one.
So anytime you go to a trainer and you say to the trainer, "Hey, I want to look a certain way," the trainer goes, and it's from a movie. The trainer will literally know exactly who it is. The trainer, you will surprise literally no one. Trainer will go, no matter who it is, Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
Nope, Dom DeLuise from Cannonball Run, sir.
Every single time, like any train. I talked to a trainer one time, and when he's like, "Well, what body type are you looking for?" And I said, I kind of want to look like a baseball player did in the 70s or 80s. And he's like, well, they were using
fingers, everybody.
Well, he was like, they were using a lot of speed back then, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, then like a swimmer then. And he goes, oh, okay. All right. So not Brad Pitt from Fight Club. He literally said that to me.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I want to look like Joe Piscopo.
Have you seen Psycho 2? I like the short bald guy in that.
Dennis Franz. Give me that little Dennis Franz cut there, will you, friend? So we'll be checking out Fight Club next week, talking about it. Listen, is it the height of Edward Norton? Maybe. All right, we'll talk about it next week. Until then, Bruce, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
Go check out my YouTube channel. It's not for everybody. I'm talking about low budget can-do movies, so I expect it to have a small audience, but I try to get a little artsy with the first minute of the video this week. So go check it out. And I've retooled the intro. I'm not going to say it's good, but it's conversation worthy.
I like the idea that you got going back and just kind of like looking through a bunch of just, really kind of can-do attitude movies and stuff like that. Just, I like the idea of just like looking at the good stuff, looking at the bad stuff, what works, what doesn't. And that's half the fun of watching a lot of these things. And I got one for you at some point.
Oh,
So
yes,
this is just, you write this down. The movie is called, well, it's got a couple titles, but one of the ones that you can probably get it under is Get Even. But get even is spelled as one word, not
Get
two.
even.
Get even. Yeah. It's a crown jewel. It's
the genre?
It's so amazing. Hillbilly?
Action.
Okay, I like hillbillies.
Action movie. Guy in black sleeveless shirt. Vanity project. Put his own money forward.
He sings in
I
it.
like it.
He sings the Shimmy Slide.
Shimmy Slide.
A song that he
can't
made.
wait.
The Shimmy Slide.
Get of it.
It is.
I'll watch that.
Get even.
And the best part is like at the end, his phone number is there. And you
Is
can
it
call
really?
him. Yeah. We watched that movie one night on was it on VHS? Either or. We watched it at Vizart. Then we went to the bar afterwards and we got the number there, and drunk off our asses, we called him and said, "Thank you for your movie and everything." And he texted the thing texted the next day saying, "Hey, thanks for your support and stuff," which is pretty rad.
Man.
So it's fairly recent then. That's even better.
No, man,
Yeah.
it's from like the 80s, right? It's
Oh,
like the,
No, that movie, that movie's from like the eight. Wings Hauser's in it for no reason.
yeah. A very drunk Winghauser is in it.
Hey, listen, man, he got to pay that bar tab somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
well.
you get on the Get Even train.
Sounds like he's trying to piggyback off of the Billy Jack movies.
No,
It's better than Billy Jack. I'll tell you that right now. Better than Billy Jack. I'll put it up there. I'll say it.
Yeah,
Tom
Billy
Law
Jack ain't fighting Satanists.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
with Wings
He's
Hauser.
fighting
Come on.
rednecks. Yeah.
That's how you got to get it. Sean, what else?
So I have a new YouTube channel, and our very first my very first episode comes like there's a crew of 50.
Oh, you'll be watching. You'll be part of the crew, everybody. Just by watching.
My first episode is this Friday. The first movie we're looking at is Project Hail Mary. It is the movie I've been looking most forward to for 2026. I put a lot of work into it. Hopefully you don't see that. Hopefully you just like it and then you go, "Hey, I'm going to subscribe to this and I'm going to like this video." We shall see. I hope you like it.
I'm gonna throw one on here just for funsies. Just call an audible right now. Bruce, you want to do we want to give a little review on this on Dinger Zone next week? Because I want to go watch this movie.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
My brother said he'd like to go watch it, so I'm kind of down for watching it anyway. So if we could, Sean will have his thing obviously, but we can do like a little Dinger Zone thing where we all just kind of yap about it a little bit. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, and by then I'll have seen Sean's video and I'll just kind of repeat what he said.
Yeah, just take all the good stuff, throw away all the bad stuff, but take the good stuff and then just run with it. So we'll be doing all of that good stuff next week. Links are in the show notes as always for all this kind of good stuff. So keep on that, everybody. That is it. Join us next week when we're keeping on with our series March of Dimes.
Did I even say what the name of my show is called?
Sean
But the name of the
likes spaceships.
Thank you.
There you
I didn't even say the name like an idiot. I'm good at self-promotion, everyone.
The links in the thing that they can scroll down, they can click, they know what they're I'd like to think they're a pretty smart group.
So dumb. So dumb.
So join us next week as our March of Dimes series continues on with Fight Club and handsome boy Brad Pitt. Until then, for Sweet Sean Kovacs from the internet, Bruce Leslie, I'm Matt Portress reminding you to get out there and watch the movies, you dirty babies.